In this video, I'm going to show you how I dropped over 3.5 pounds from my backpacking base weight. Let's go. If you follow the channel at all, you know that I've historically been kind of middle of the road when it comes to my backpacking base weight. I have not been carrying around a bunch of needless junk that makes my base weight go way up, but at the same time, I have not been overly focused on being super ultralight. After my time on the PCT this spring, I started to rethink some things because carrying all that water and the long food carries, it can be kind of taxing on your body. And I felt like, you know what? It's time to rethink how I'm doing my pack and see if I can cut some weight. So let's take a look at how I was able to save 3.5 pounds off my base weight. The first thing I changed is my pack. I've been using the Osprey Atmos 65 for about 8 years, and I really like this pack. It's durable, it's comfortable, it adjusts really well, but the thing is, it's a little bit heavy at 57 ounces on my scale. So I am making the switch to the Gossamer Gear Mariposa 60. This pack weighs in at 32.7 ounces, which is quite a bit of weight savings over my old pack. There are two main reasons I selected this pack. The first is that it's lightweight, and a 24.3 ounce savings over my old pack is quite a bit. The second reason is that even though it's lightweight, it is still large enough to carry a bear canister. And I do quite a bit of hiking in areas where a bear canister is recommended or required, so I needed a pack that would be able to handle something this large. The other packs I considered were the Z-Packs Arc Haul and the ULA Circuit. Both of those are quite popular on the trail, but I ended up going with the Mariposa 60 mainly because of the comfort ratings from the people who did online reviews of that pack. Now, even though I'm switching to the new pack, I still think the Osprey Atmos is a great pack for anybody who is either just starting out in backpacking or doesn't plan on doing extended, long through hike type stuff. It's still a great pack, quite comfortable, and I'm sure it will serve many people well. The next piece of gear I'm changing is my tent, and I've been using the Big Agnes Fly Creek UL2 for a long time, about 8 years. I really like this tent. It's a freestanding tent, meaning it holds up pretty well in the wind. It's never let me down. Big Agnes stands behind their products like no other company, but at 37.4 ounces on my scale, it's just a little bit heavier than what I want to carry out there, and there are quite a few lightweight alternatives available on the market today. The tent I ended up going with is the Z-Packs Duplex, one of the most popular tents you'll see on the trail today. And this thing weighs in at only 19 ounces. One of the biggest differences between this tent and my tent is that it is not a freestanding tent, meaning it's set up with trekking poles instead. So I use my trekking poles rather than a set of poles that go specifically with that tent. And that ends up saving quite a bit of weight. Another big difference is that it is made of Dyneema fabric, which unlike the nylon of the Big Agnes tent, it will resist water a lot better. Though that nylon fabric would collect water and start to sag. And even though my tent never got me wet, it kept me dry in any type of storm, it did sag quite a bit in the rain. And the Duplex and the Dyneema fabric is supposed to hold up quite a bit better and remain taut even in a big rainstorm. Another difference is the new tent is a single wall tent. And this is an advantage the Big Agnes tent has over the Duplex. As a double wall tent, the Big Agnes is a lot better when it comes to condensation. So I will have to be dealing with some condensation when I'm camping in kind of moist, damp air, but I think it's worth it for that weight savings. Very similar to the pack, I think this tent is still a great tent for somebody who is either just starting out in backpacking or is an experienced backpacker that just isn't planning on hiking gigantic miles and long distances over weeks and weeks. It's a great tent, and I still recommend it to anybody. The next spot where I'm saving weight is with my tent footprint. Because the Dyneema tent does not require a tent footprint, I can get rid of this 7.8 ounce behemoth that takes up so much bulk in my pack. So good riddance, 7.8 ounces gone. Now let's take a look at some of the smaller items that I'm getting rid of. They say sometimes that backpackers end up packing their fears, and in my case, I fell into that trap. And I used to pack this ankle brace and take it everywhere with me. If I roll an ankle, I'm gonna roll an ankle, and the fact that I've packed an ankle brace in my pack isn't gonna change that. And once I roll an ankle, putting a brace on probably isn't going to do that much for me anyways. So here's 4.8 ounces that is going out of my pack. The next change I'm making is I'm eliminating one of the 2 hand towels that I take with me. Now, I generally take 2 of these and they're 1.1 ounces each. And I know some of you are going to say, well, even having 1 hand towel is a luxury item, but I wear contact lenses and I need to keep my hands clean, and I use a hand towel every single night. However, I just wasn't using the second hand towel really ever. So saving 1.1 ounces, one of the hand towels has got to go. There's one other possibility that I'm not going to take off of my base weight quite yet, and that is my butt pad. Now, this is one of my favorite items, but the Mariposa 60 comes with a built-in butt pad in it. It's supposed to protect your back and provide some cushion from the items that are in the pack. And allegedly, you can take it and use it as a sit pad and you don't have to carry an extra one. But I don't know if it's going to be a pain to pull that thing in and out of the pack every night. So for now, I'm going to keep this thing, and it's not getting tossed over the shoulder because it's one of my top favorite items, and I like this thing a lot. So if you've been doing the math, you'd see that I'm saving over 56.4 ounces, which is about 3.5 pounds, bringing my total base weight down to around 14.6 pounds. I'm excited about that, and I can't wait to get out there and try hiking with a much lighter pack. Now, I still have a long way to go before I would be considered an ultralight backpacker. Ultralight is generally defined as someone who's got a base weight of 10 pounds or less. I'm carrying 1.5 pounds of camera gear so I can bring all the cool videos to you guys, so it's going to be hard for me to get below that 10-pound mark. But right now, at 14.6 pounds, I'm pretty excited and glad that I've been able to get it down to that level. One of the things that I find most fun about backpacking is all the planning and preparation that goes into it. Being able to dial in your gear and continually improve various pieces of equipment until you can get that base weight down to a manageable level. And I'm hoping that you guys have been able to get some value out of watching me over the years make changes to my stuff and continually lower my weight and become more efficient as a hiker. As always, if you found any value in this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks, and we'll see you out on the trail.